Hey everybody, I'm here today with my friend Mr. Q from A Kid Explains History. And we are halfway through the epic history of kids.
Epic. If you didn't see part 1 on my channel, go ahead, go over there. You gotta see part 1 to understand this part. Well, no you don't, but it would be better if you watch part 1 too.
It's true. In fact, it's that bookmark floating up there right now. So go ahead, catch up.
For the viewers who have to leave now, we will wait for you to watch my video.
Hey, welcome back. Now, Mr. Q, you said a revolution was coming.
Yes, a revolution is coming. And that revolution is the Industrial Revolution.
Like factories and steampunk and all that stuff, and this affected kids?
Hashtag understatement of the year. Think about it. What do factories need lots of?
Metal. Oh, workers. Is that right? Oh, that means kids. Suddenly, I don't like this story so much.
It gets worse. Because we're talking poor children. The nice, privileged, rich children get to do whatever they want with their teeth. Some lived in families that actually relied on the children to make money. And some had too many children and not enough work. So they sold their kids into workhouses or apprenticeships. Others were orphans with no other options. They worked all day to just have a pellet to sleep on and crummy meals.
No popcorn?
No popcorn.
Who hired them?
Well, factories of all sorts. Textile mills and mines. Some even worked as chimney sweeps because of their size.
Well, chimney sweeps, that doesn't sound so bad.
Whatever you were imagining right now, I promise it was not that cool. Kids were lowered down into chimneys, breathing in all that ash, constantly in danger of falling to their death.
This is sounding like something straight out of a Charles Dickens novel.
That's exactly what it came straight out of. And the good news is, things got somewhat better for kids from what Dickens wrote. When people read it, they got pretty upset. He got attention of reformers that wanted to set rules about the exploitation of child labor.
This makes me happy because stories are so powerful. You want to change somebody's mind? Tell them some stories. I love that this is an example of that.
Are you on a soapbox right now? Don't get too excited. The laws were still pretty loose. Until the 1900s, a kid could work at any age. It wasn't until 1901 in England until they raised the minimum age to 12.
That's like you in 2 years.
Could you imagine me as a chimney sweep?
Well, kind of. Okay. So what finally changed?
It was lots of things. And weirdly, it happened around the same time all over the world. Literature helped a lot. Things like Tom Brown's School Days and Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And eventually, laws were passed saying that kids had to go to school, which I guess I have to admit is a good thing.
School is sounding suddenly like a really good option.
It is. The odds of me even surviving to being a teenager would have been bad.
Teenagers. Now that is something that I know about.
Because you were one?
Well, partly, but you're not the only one who knows a thing or two about history. Teenagers were actually a modern invention.
Seriously?
Yeah. For years, you went from being a kid straight to being a grown-up, just like in Peter Pan. There was no middle. The word teenager wasn't even invented until the 1940s by an American advertising agency.
Get out!
Cross my heart. High schools were now the center of the social scene for anyone from 14 to 18 years old. The new youth culture had started to develop around the 1920s when something really important was invented: cars.
No more factory work, high school, cars, trifecta, 1940s.
Not so fast. Between the 20s and the 40s, we still had the Great Depression and World War II. This made things crazy tough. Times were really hard, so adolescents worked long hours after school, and then some of them went off to war.
But then World War II ended, and the world was a very different place.
Correct. Adults came back from the war and took the jobs that kids previously had. So people moved out to the suburbs, and suddenly college was available to everybody thanks to the GI Bill. Something huge happened next. Huge.
What? Don't leave me hanging. Music? 1950s? Music? Rock and roll! Rock and roll happened!
Yes, correct. Music came, cars, free time, great economy, adolescent heaven.
And rock and roll did something else important. Something kids have always taken the lead on.
Yeah? What's that?
It was a bumpy road, but really it was teenagers that led the fight. They had concerts that brought white middle-class teenagers together with African-American teenagers and artists.
Well, it's cool because that's kind of just like today. Teenagers are still the ones who fight for change in America.
We the people below 18 cannot be ignored. We're powerful and we will change the world.
Mr. Q, I loved today. I really gained an appreciation for what kids have gone through all throughout history.
Me too. It really put my hassles in perspective. I know homework stinks, and I'm a little overscheduled, but it beats working in a coal mine, working 90 hours a week just to eat.
I'm such a fan of what you do on your channel. You are welcome back here anytime.
We need to come up with another one. We have to.
Well, for now, I'm Adam from Adam's Answers, and you are...
Mr. Q from A Kid Explains History.
And we will see you next time. Well, I just get passionate about child labor laws. It's the funniest line in the script, obviously. One who knows a thing or two about history.
Yes, I am.
Teenagers. I will fight you. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. For more Adam's Answers episodes, you can click right here. And please don't forget to subscribe. That happens down here. Laugh a little, think a lot, love better.